Hello everyone, hope you're all doing fine. You haven't seen me in a while, but here I am. Starting from today, we're going to do chapter 10. So we're down to chapter 9 and we will start about genetics. So the name of this chapter is Introduction to Genetics and Patterns of Inheritance. Our first lesson is Mendelian genetics. You can find this lesson on page 252 in your textbooks. To start this lesson, we need to go back in time and talk a little bit about the scientist, at the time Austrian monk and biologist called Gregor Mendel. In the mid-19th century, he published his findings and his work on inheritance of traits in garden pea plant. So at the time, he was kind of lucky that he chose exactly that plant species because it's very easy to or easier to track certain traits that are passed down through generation in that plant. So right now we will move on PowerPoint presentation so you can all see how it looks. As you know, pea plants and other plants in general can reproduce by self-fertilization. So that means that one individual plant can fertilize itself. Self-fertilization occurs when a male gamete within the flower combines with a female gamete in the same flower. So we studied that gamete is a reproductive cell with a haploid number of chromosomes. Mendel performed cross-pollination by transferring a male gamete from the flower of one pea plant to the female reproductive organ in the flower of another pea plant. Also here on this slide you can see why pea plant is very suitable for genetics experiments. Okay, now we're focused on a pea plant. So Mendel noticed that some varieties of garden pea plant can produce specific form of a trait. Varietate, it refers to a different form of same species. So basically here is referring that different varieties are producing different seeds. For example, there is one variety that produces green and one variety of pea plant that produce a yellow seeds. Now, on the picture on your left, you can see two types of seeds, yellow and green one. So both of those seeds are coming from different varieties of garden pea plants. That is, if we trace down the seed color. On the picture on your right, you can see that there is a different flower color. So some pea plants come in violet flower color and the other come in white flower color. So you can also trace those traits alongside with other traits. So now we will focus on the picture on your left. So when Mendel grew the seeds from the cross between the green seed and yellow seed plants, all of the resulting offspring had yellow seeds. So you can see that group of seeds in the middle, bunch of yellow seeds. It's called first filial or first generation, or we also call it F1 generation. Basically, that means when you crossbreed between plant that came from yellow pea and plant that came up from green pea, the result will become the new plants of pea, and all of them will produce yellow peas. So it's F1 generation. Filial comes from Latin word. Later on, if you crossbreed between plants that are from F1 generation or first filial generation, you will get new plants, new pea plants that will produce seeds, and among those seeds you can find even green ones. So you have parental generation. They have green and yellow colored peas. When you crossbreed between that generation, you get F1 generation that only have yellow seeds. So basically you cannot find green ones there. So the question is, where are those greens? So Mendel, he tried to crossbreed between F1 generation. So as a result, he get F2 generation, second filial. He noticed seeds that have yellow color, and among those he was able to find the seeds with green color. The same thing was with the flowers. So if you look on the picture on your right, basically the parental generation is going to be plant with white and violet color of flowers. In the F1 generation, we have only violet ones. So when he crossed that F1 generation, he will get F2 generation, second filial or second generation, with both white and violet flowers. Another thing that's very important to mention here, and please remember this one, is that ratio in F2 generation or second filler generation is 3 versus 1. So basically on every 3 yellow color seed you get 1 green.